Okay, folks, so this is my third attempt at bringing this video together this evening. Uh, I'm just struggling with my thoughts, and that's one of the problems of being chronically ill. Is it's like so much of my physical, emotional, and mental energy goes to thinking about or dealing with my illness in some way that it leaves me sometimes struggling for words and thoughts. So I'm hoping as I continue to practice, I'll get all the words and everything together for what I want to say and be able to finish this video at some point this evening. Excuse me. Uh, so what I want to start out saying up front is, one of the commitments I made to myself, and I shared this with a couple people that I'm close to, is that through my process of sharing my story and my sickness and my journey to get well is to be as honest and vulnerable as possible. And for that reason, I'm not recording this video live. I'm going to upload it when I'm done uh, because I want to talk about a couple things that are going to be pretty difficult. And, if I completely lose it and I'm blubbering and y'all can't even understand what I'm saying, then I uh, will do it over again or try to edit that somehow. Uh, I had a woke up feeling fairly well today, relatively speaking, and I tried to do a couple things. I'm not going to go into a lot of story about what I did or didn't do, but it's like the first three things I tried to accomplish today, I just like ran into brick walls, or ran into stupidity or whatever. Uh, then I got triggered by somebody in a UDF that was not wearing a mask, and yeah, how COVID and everything else in 2020 is playing into this illness I've acquired. How much that may have contributed to this illness I've acquired, uh, or at least making it worse. Who knows? I was able to shift it by about the middle of the day, 1 or 2 o'clock. I managed to accomplish a couple of things that were helpful and positive. And then I took a nap for a couple of hours, and I just woke up about an hour ago and decided I would make a couple of notes and jump on and do a video. My plan was to do it live, and this is the direction I took. I have my own kind of little teleprompter here, a little notebook with a couple notes. So I'm going to glance at it sometimes to kind of get together what I want to say. Uh, Also, I struggle to look at the camera. uh, I'm just not used to doing this, and it feels kind of odd to be constantly looking at this camera that's not looking back at me. So I tend to be looking around. Um, it doesn't mean I'm not focused or paying attention. It just means that this feels awkward to me, and hopefully over time I'll get used to it. Um, so, one thing that you know has been sitting with me most of the day after having difficulties this morning is partly the idea of self-care that, and I've spoken about this in the past, not in these videos but in workshops and other things, that I spent a large part of my life um, learning skills and techniques and being of service. I worked in social services for almost 20 years in various positions. I've done private consulting work, coaching work, personal development workshops. I still do some of that, and I hope to begin doing more. Again, I've been kind of playing away from it a little while I've been working on my other business, strictly for means of building income. And anyway, the point is, through many of those years, really until I started doing serious men's work about 10 years ago, I didn't really apply much of what I learned to my personal life. Um, at times I would, and I would go through periods of growth, but then it would be like, okay, I just think I'm okay now. And I would get away from doing things. I would come in and out of community with people. And that's a whole nother video I will do around isolation and um, being an inward kind of person, being someone who hasn't always felt safe in the world. Um, yeah, and hopefully as I get my thoughts more together, I will quit saying so much. Oh boy, my public speaking teacher would be quite disappointed if she sees this. Um, and so, the other thing I want to say about that is, in all of those years, I spent a lot of time working with people in the same or similar situations that I'm in right now, supervising group homes for folks with physical and developmental disabilities, working with people who are homeless on accessing disability and trying to get them health care and access to resources and so on and so forth. And many of them were people who were chronically ill, and whether it be substance abuse issues or physical health issues or mental health issues or co-occurring disorders. um, I always felt like I had an understanding. Like, I definitely had empathy and compassion. I definitely wanted to help, tried to help, did whatever I could to help within reason. Um, and then I got sick myself. What's been almost 3 months ago now at this point. And I'm realizing that I really didn't have a clue about what it meant and what it felt like to be chronically ill, to deal with pain all of the time and discomfort all of the time, um, to feel like a burden to other people, uh, to feel like I'm not measuring up, to an even greater degree than what I have felt like my whole life I've not measured up. To feeling ashamed about my kids seeing me like this and seeing me not able to even care for myself properly, much less do as much as I want or judge I should be doing for them. And my son has said to me on more than one occasion that his opinion of me has not changed. And that's hard to take in. I appreciate it. And yet, I wish I could not judge myself. I wish I could see myself the same way. But I've never seen myself in a completely healthy way, which I judge as part of the reason I'm sick. And I'll go into, some of that stuff in another video at some point about, how emotional health and mental health plays into physical health, and how I've always carried stress and this idea of being unworthy. But it's not really the point of this video. I carry worry about my sickness every day, about am I going to get better? How am I going to get better? What's going to happen? I'm trying to strategize, okay, what are some other ways you might be able to generate income since you can't God, I don't even want to say that, since you can't do the work that you've been doing and making money. And yeah, and then there's the, the worry about bills, and everything else. And, am I going to be able to keep housing? Am I going to be able to have a place to live? Can I afford food? Am I going to be able to lose my truck? Uh, all of these different things. And yeah, so that's a lot to deal with and carry. And I get depressed. I get unhappy. I get lethargic. I sometimes spend, lots of time, even when I'm physically feeling good enough that I might be able to do something, because of all of that stuff, I still sometimes feel crippled and unable to do anything. So, and then you add trying to make food changes on top of it, and it's just boom, 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 boom. And overall, I feel hopeful. I feel like, yes, I can get through this. Part of the reason I'm doing this video here today and sharing this stuff is because one of the thoughts that occurred to me is, so often I've watched, personal help people, gurus, so on and so forth, motivational speakers, that kind of thing, and have been to workshops and retreats, and it almost, like, maybe they're out there. I know there's a couple out there that I know of, but it doesn't seem like very many of them are real with me or with others about what it's like to really go through a devastating illness or devastating emotional struggles, and and show what that's like, and talk about how truly painful it is, and how helpless and hopeless it often feels. It's like everybody wants to talk about, okay, well, I figured out what you got to do to get past it and get out of it, and so here, just do these things and you'll be fine. And it's just not that easy, folks. It's just not that easy. Yeah. So, what I want more than anything is to be real with people. And that's often been a struggle for me in my life. And uh, I want to be honest with people about how horrible I feel, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And to let people know that it's okay to not feel good every day. It's okay to have days where you don't want to do anything. Um, you just have to build support, and find people that can help you stay connected and help you keep focused, overall, in the long run. And you know there's a lot of truth. They use it. There's this old phrase with, addicts, that, you got to hit rock bottom, and unless you hit rock bottom, you're not going to make any change. And I think in many ways that's true for many areas of our lives. I wouldn't be sitting here recording this video right now. I wouldn't be trying to make changes to my diet and my health and other things had I not hit my rock bottom, had I not gotten so sick that I thought I was going to die, and that I'm unable to pay bills and take care of myself. And I don't want my life to end, and I don't want the rest of my life to be lived like this. So my only choice is to make changes, and I'm doing that. And I need support.